Have you ever wondered what it really takes to build something meaningful? Whether it's a business, a nonprofit, or a life rooted in purpose and impact. Well, what if you could sit across the table from local leaders who pivoted, failed, and risen again and learn directly from them? I'm Kristina Lowe, and this is Tripoint Conversations. It's a podcast about the people who make things happen in Louisville and beyond. We talk a lot about success, but not nearly enough about the moments in between. The pivots, the uncertainty, the ideas that looked great on paper until life had other plans. Those are the conversations I wanted to start having, the real ones. Before bringing on the lineup of guests, though, some names you'll recognize and others you'll want to get to know, I thought I'd start here with my own story. Marketing and strategy have always been part of my DNA, and after graduating from the University of Kentucky with a degree in advertising, I chased the dream of big city life and I moved to Chicago. I lived in Lincoln Park. I worked downtown at Starcom, part of Leo Burnett, where I learned more in 6 months than most textbooks could cover in 4 years. Eventually, though, Kentucky started calling me back. And to be honest, so did the idea of being able to afford takeout again. Coming home led to joining Creative Alliance Advertising Agency, back when it was still called that, and working on brands like KFC and A&W. That's where I worked alongside some amazing marketing teams and realized I didn't want to just market someone else's ideas. I wanted to help shape the story behind them. So while working full-time, I took a leap and went back to school for my MBA through Indiana University's Kelley School of Business. It was a whirlwind. Late nights of strategy papers, early morning client meetings, and in the middle of it all, planning a wedding just 3 months after graduation. That's when I married my best friend, Andrew, someone I'd known since high school and reconnected with after moving back to Louisville. It was busy and a little crazy, but it was the start of something great. Soon after came Universal Woods, the company behind Chromolux and Unisub, where I had the chance to lead global brand building, work with incredible teams, and experience firsthand what happens when leadership actually gives you the freedom to create. Over the next 15 years, I worked across industries in education, manufacturing, tech, even gaming and betting at Churchill Downs. I got to see how strategy and communication work in so many different settings and how culture can make or break all of it. And like a lot of people, I've had my fair share of turning points, times when life headed in one direction and then took a sharp turn. Each time it pushed me to grow, to rethink what I wanted next, and to keep moving forward even when the path didn't look like I expected. The most recent one came after my previous company was sold and I was part of the restructuring. I found myself at a crossroads, not quite sure what was next, but knowing to take time and reset and refocus. During that time, my morning slowed down and I started doing something I had talked about for years, reading the Bible before diving into the day. The goal was every day, and I'm still working towards that. I also joined a group of moms who play pickleball, which turned out to be way more fun and competitive than expected. We say we play for fun, but it turns out that none of us like to lose. It became this great outlet of laughter and movement and a reminder to make space for joy. As life started to find its rhythm again, I began thinking about what I wanted to build next. I could have gone back to a corporate role, but in the spring of 2025, I started my own company, one that goes beyond consulting and works alongside businesses and nonprofits to help them reset their strategy, develop their marketing, and grow their organization. That was the start of Tripoint Strategic Group, named as a little homage to Tri because we have 3 girls and because it represents the 3 pillars of focus: strategy, marketing, and development. I started off slow, working with one client and supporting a few others on smaller projects to still enjoy time with the family. It was intentional to build something meaningful, not just busy. But recently I found myself thinking again, what now? My business is growing, my girls are thriving, but there was a feeling that there was something more to do. Something that connected everything I've learned and loved about this community. Louisville is full of incredible people, leaders who've built companies, launched nonprofits, written books, raised families, and shaped this city in ways that deserve to be talked about. That's what got me thinking. Maybe I could help share those stories, not just through strategy decks or branding projects, but in real conversations. So I finally decided to do something I'd been thinking about for years. I launched this podcast. Tripoint Conversations is a chance to sit down with the people who shape our community and have real, honest dialogue. To hear stories that inspire, challenge, and remind us what leadership looks like in the real world, not just in theory, but in practice. I'm not sure exactly where this will lead, but I knew it was time to get started. Sometimes the best things happen when you stop waiting for perfect and just begin. Looking back, every chapter, every job, every house, every change has taught me something about building things that matter. Sometimes you plan it all out and it works, and other times life hands you something completely different and you build anyways. That's one of the things I love about Louisville. It's full of people doing just that. People who've built careers and companies and callings that didn't always go according to script, but still grew into something meaningful. This podcast is about those journeys, the pivots, the risks, and the resilience, and the heart it takes to keep showing up. Some stories are going to make you laugh, and some may challenge the way you think, but each one will be honest and real. So if that sounds like the kind of conversation you want to be part of, hit subscribe wherever you're listening. Share this episode with a friend who loves a good story or someone who's figuring out their next chapter. And if you know someone whose story deserves to be shared, or maybe that someone is you, head to tripointstrategiggroup.com and send me a note. I'm so glad you're here, and I can't wait to start this journey with you and introduce you to the incredible people who are shaping our community one story at a time. Until next time. Thanks for listening to Tripoint Conversations. Make sure you hit subscribe wherever you're listening so you never miss an episode. If this conversation resonated with you, share it with a friend or someone who's navigating their own next chapter. And if you know a story that deserves to be heard, or maybe that story is yours, head to tripointstrategiggroup.com and send me a note. I can't wait to keep this journey going with you and introduce you to more incredible people who are shaping their communities one story at a time.